character is able to handle whatever comes before you. Oh, that was a great thing. In 1969, we played for the national championship here in Fayetteville. Played Texas, and President Nixon came, and Billy Graham came. And Coach Broyles had me over to the house. Billy came by and to visit with him in his house, and he called me up, he and his wife, and wanted me to come over, and I went over and met and talked to Dr. Billy Graham, probably the world's greatest evangelist. And I told him that of the starting 22 Razorbacks, that 15 of them were in my Bible study every week. And then Billy Graham said, well, he said, I guess I'll have to pray for Arkansas. So I knew that we'd win then, but it didn't work out that way. Texas beat us by 1 point. Boy, that was a black day at Black Rock in the Hogland when that happened, but I can't go back into that again. But anyway, Coach Broyles had a real commitment to Christianity, especially the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, where we worked together to impress the young men of their need. We didn't push Jesus on them, but they knew that we stood there and wanted them to go as high as they could spiritually in their life, and scores of them did. I'll never forget the wonderful time we had. He weakened one time. This is a funny story. We had a great lineman from Texas. He came up, and he was really going to play for us, and yet he found the faith and decided to get baptized, and it was in October, and they had a river baptism. And as he went out into the water to be baptized in the river, someone had thrown a broken beer bottle out. He stepped on it, messed up his foot, took about 18 stitches, and of course he couldn't play for about a month. And all Coach Broyles said about that to me was that, well, HD, if it's possible, he said, let's try not to have any more river baptisms during the season. How about that? No need to risk a good athlete in a river baptism if we can wait till the season is over. I talked to him about winning in sports, and he said there are 3 essential things if you're going to win at sports and if you're going to win in life. He says the first thing to do is prepare. You have to prepare what you're going to do. Many Christians aren't prepared to live the Christian life. They don't have any plan. And secondly, you said you got to practice your plan to really know what that plan is. And that's why you go out during the week. You don't just show up on Saturday. And then after you practice your plan, you got to play with emotion. I remember how he said it. He said, no athlete will ever win any contest without emotion. And so what makes a great athlete is also what makes a great Christian. Preparation, practice, and passion. That's pretty good, isn't it? In fact, that's what Paul says in 2 Timothy chapter 2. He said, endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ, like a soldier, like an athlete, and like a farmer. And if you talk about those 3 things, the soldier plans to die. If you don't plan to die, you're never going to be much as a military man. And then the athlete prepares to win, and he practices and practices to win. And then the farmer, what does he do? He plants to reap. And boy, it takes passion to get out there and plant in the heat and to wait. See? And that's one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned from Coach Frank Broyles. And of course, his advice, I heard him say it so many times, don't beat yourself. A lot of us beat ourselves up because we listen to the snake and don't listen to the Lord. Well, I asked him one time, we were on a bank board together among some of our activities up here, and I got the chance to take him home a lot, and we talked. And I asked him one time, I said, Coach, it seems to me about the most hopeless thing on earth was to know that you're the coach for a team that the last 2 or 3 years had a record of 0-12. They didn't win a game and lost all of the others. Good night. What would you say to a team like that? I'd hate to even think that I was going to have to coach a team like that. He said, oh, I wouldn't mind. He said, that'd be a real challenge. And I said, well, what would you say to them? 0-12, 0-12. Man, that's discouraging. You talk about no morale. Yes, but you have to build a morale. And all you have to do is what is necessary. And I said, well, what's that? What would you say? And he said, well, I know exactly what I'd say first. I would simply stand and say, gentlemen, we need to improve. And boy, that says it, doesn't it? And I guess I'll sign off with that. I could go on another 30 minutes or so. I think Coach Broyles, as I'm going to use this when I talk about him some and the athletes and all I'll be talking around. If he had one last message for you and for me, he'd say, H, improve. Improve. And that's what the Lord would tell us too. Improve. Keep improving. Keep continuing. Keep preparing yourself. Keep practicing what you know is right. And play life with passion. He certainly did. And in this great verse in Samuel, David said of King Saul, when he found out that he had been killed, and his son along with him, Jonathan, he said, your glory, O Israel, lies slain in the heights. In other words, we've lost one of our greatest leaders. And then David says, how the mighty have fallen. See, Coach Broyles did a fantastic job. He was a great sacrificer. And the reason most people don't realize what a great sacrifice he made is that few people sacrifice greatly. You have to sacrifice greatly to really know what great sacrifice is, or else you'll never know it. I finished a little paper here, Coach Broyles, a double legacy revealed. And if you have our number there or something like that, how you can contact us, let us hear from you, and I'll send you a copy of this. It's just 3.5 pages, and it's a summary of how I see his life. The mighty have fallen. I hope you and I grow mighty in Jesus Christ, both in our secular jobs and our spiritual challenges. Father, I thank you for the life of my dear friend Frank Broyles, and I pray for everyone listening to me today that we will make one vow as a result of this time together. If we're going to live a great discipleship life, there's only one thing for us to do: improve. And I pray each of us will vow to do that right now. In your dear name, amen.